In the year 2345, humanity was no longer confined to Earth. The stars had been reached, and with them, secrets previously beyond imagination were uncovered. Earth was but a node in a vast network of interstellar civilizations, an ancient sprawling empire hidden amongst the galaxies, its existence kept from younger planets like Earth. As the story begins, Commander Ava Jordan aboard the starship Endeavour orbits a newly discovered planet on the fringe of the Milky Way. This planet, codenamed Elysium, was shrouded in mystery, its surface teeming with structures that predated known technology by millennia. Ava was chosen for this mission due to her unique background in xenolinguistics and her uncanny ability to decrypt alien technologies. Her team consisted of specialists in various fields: Dr. Leo Sanders, an astrophysicist, Tanya Reeves, a bioengineer, and Mikhail Ivanov, a systems engineer. Together, they represented humanity's best chance at unlocking Elysium's secrets. Elysium was unlike any world they had encountered. Its cities were deserted, with architecture that suggested a once thriving civilization. Ava led her team through the ghostly streets, feeling the weight of countless eyes upon them, though they saw no one. "The readings are off the charts, but I can't tell if it's due to the tech or something else," Mikhail remarked, scanning the environment with his device. Dr. Sanders adjusted his glasses, looking up at the towering spires that seemed to absorb rather than reflect light. "These structures could be thousands, if not millions of years old. The empire that built this was advanced beyond our wildest dreams. Their mission was to establish the first human outpost on Elysium and investigate any potential threats or allies in this hidden empire." However, as they delved deeper into the planet's mysteries, Ava felt a sense of foreboding. It wasn't long before they found their first clue: a holographic archive, miraculously still operational. Ava initiated the interface, and a flood of alien script filled the air in front of them. She deciphered the glyphs with a translator device, and the story of an ancient galactic empire unfolded. According to the archive, this empire had spanned several galaxies at its zenith, thriving on the synergy of countless species, including some that humanity recognized from myth and legend. But it had not fallen due to war or disaster. It had simply vanished, leaving behind empty worlds like Elysium. Could they have ascended? Moved beyond physical form? Tanya wondered aloud, looking over the data. "It's possible," Ava replied. "Or maybe they faced something even they couldn't handle. We need to be prepared for any possibility." The archive also hinted at a network of such planets, connected by a web of portals. If they could find and activate these portals, they might unlock shortcuts across the stars, or awaken whatever had caused the Empire's disappearance. As night fell on Elysium, Ava and her team set up camp amidst the alien ruins. Unknown to them, sensors on the Endeavour picked up faint energy signatures approaching their location. That night, under a strange sky lit by unfamiliar constellations, humanity stood on the brink of a new chapter, about to reveal the secrets of a hidden empire that might change the universe forever. As they prepared for what might come next, Ava felt a mix of exhilaration and fear. The unknown was vast, and they were but a speck within it. Yet this speck had the potential to unravel or uphold the cosmic balance that had been undisturbed for eons. Ava woke to the sharp chirp of her communicator. "Commander, you need to see this." Mikhail's voice, laced with urgency, snapped her out of her brief rest. Blinking away the vestiges of sleep, Ava followed the beacon of Mikhail's flashlight as they regrouped outside the makeshift camp. The night was thick with a tension that even the stars seemed reluctant to pierce. Mikhail pointed his device towards the horizon, where the energy readings were escalating anomalously. "These aren't random fluctuations," he said, displaying a series of rhythmic pulses on his screen. "It's almost like a signal or a heartbeat." The team exchanged uneasy looks. Dr. Sanders suggested, "If these are signals, it could mean this planet isn't as abandoned as we thought. Or at least, it's still functioning on some level." As dawn broke, their environment took on a surreal quality. The first rays of the foreign sun revealed subtle movements in the architecture itself. Walls and structures shifted almost imperceptibly, aligning and realigning like pieces of a colossal puzzle. Ava decided they should head towards the source of the signals, a decision that led them deeper into the labyrinthine city. The journey was silent except for the echo of their footsteps and the occasional shift of stone against stone from the living architecture around them. They reached a vast plaza dominated by a monolithic structure that towered above everything else. It was here that the signals were strongest, pulsing through the air like the beat of a drum. The plaza itself was lined with statues, each depicting a different alien species, all looking towards the monolith as if in worship or fear. Tanya knelt, examining the ground. "Look at this." She gestured towards markings that resembled a star map with lines connecting various points. "This might be a map of the Empire's reach, or possibly even a network of these portals we're looking for." Mikhail's device suddenly spiked as he neared the monolith. "There's a mechanism here," he announced, uncovering a panel obscured by centuries of dust and alien foliage. With Ava's nod, he activated it, initiating a sequence that caused the monolith to emit a deep, resonant hum. The sound vibrated through the plaza, stirring the air into a visual spectacle as holograms activated around them, displaying scenes of cosmopolitan life and interspecies interactions that must have taken place eons ago. The holograms flickered between scenes of peace and snippets of a gathering storm, a dark wave that seemed to engulf the Empire in shadow. "This could be what they faced," Dr. Sanders murmured, absorbed in the holographic history unfurling before them. A threat from within, or a cataclysm they couldn't escape. The holograms culminated in an image of several species uniting around a similar monolith, pouring what appeared to be energy into it. The scene ended with the activation of a portal through which the species disappeared just before the arrival of the dark wave. "We need to find that portal," Ava declared, determination setting her jaw. "It could be our only chance to understand whether this threat is still active and if it poses a danger to Earth." The team agreed, setting out with renewed purpose. The city seemed to respond to their resolve, pathways illuminating and previously obstructed routes clearing, guiding them towards what they hoped would be the heart of the Empire's secrets. As they ventured on, the realization dawned on them that they were walking a path set millions of years before by beings whose history was interwoven with the fabric of the universe itself. The weight of their discovery pressed upon them, a reminder of the monumental legacy they were uncovering. Through the intricate network of alien corridors, Ava and her team advanced, their progress marked by the pulsating lights that seemed to anticipate their path. The air was charged with a subtle energy, a whisper of the ancient power that had once coursed through these pathways. As they reached an expansive underground chamber, the architecture changed noticeably. The walls here were lined with crystal-like panels that shimmered with internal light, each pulse synchronized with the beating signal Mikhail had detected earlier. "Look at these inscriptions," Tanya pointed out, tracing her fingers over symbols that glowed faintly as she touched them. "They're dynamic, adjusting as we interact with them. This isn't just a building, it's an interface." Ava activated her translator unit, watching as the cryptic alien script transformed into understandable language. The text spoke of a repository of knowledge, a collective library of the Empire's accumulated wisdom, and a distress beacon meant to guide the survivors back or warn newcomers of the peril that lay dormant. Mikhail's attention, however, was fixed on a large central dais in the middle of the room. "This looks like a control hub," he speculated, examining the array of alien technology embedded in the console. As his hands moved expertly over the device, the entire room thrummed to life, revealing a three-dimensional star map that projected above them. The map highlighted a specific series of star systems, connected by lines that Ava guessed were portal pathways. "This is it. The network of portals we were looking for," she said, her voice echoing slightly in the vast chamber. Dr. Sanders, peering closely at the map, identified a recurring symbol that appeared at certain nexus points. These might be key locations, perhaps control centers or safe havens during the Empire's collapse. If we can access these, we might be able to understand the full scope of what happened. The team agreed to prioritize these locations, but as they prepared to copy the star map, An unexpected tremor shook the chamber. Dust and small debris rained from the ceiling as the ground beneath them vibrated with increasing intensity. "This place isn't as dead as we thought," Mikhail noted, steadying himself against the console. "Whatever we did, it's reacting." The tremor subsided as quickly as it had begun, leaving a tense silence in its wake. Ava checked her readings. The energy levels throughout Elysium had spiked dramatically during the tremor and were now beginning to stabilize. "It's like a heartbeat returning to normal," Tanya observed, reviewing the data on her own device. With the star map data secured, Ava directed the team towards the nearest portal nexus according to the map. As they left the chamber, the lights dimmed behind them, as if the room was returning to a state of rest. Navigating back to the surface, they noticed subtle changes in the environment. The city seemed less abandoned, more aware. It was as though their presence had awakened something, a sentience embedded in the very stones and metals of the city. Reaching the surface, they were greeted by the sight of the Endeavor hovering in the sky, a stark silhouette against the brightening horizon. Ava contacted Captain Ellis, updating him on their findings and their next move towards the portal nexus. As the team boarded their shuttle, Ava looked back at the ancient city one last time, a sense of awe mingling with the creeping dread of the unknown dangers they were about to face. The Empire might be gone, but its echoes were calling to them, pulling them deeper into the shadows of history and space. The shuttle ride to the designated portal nexus was fraught with anticipation. Ava's team scanned the surface below, noting the increased activity in the energy patterns emanating from the planet. It was as if Elysium itself was slowly awakening from a long slumber, its ancient systems coming back online with the presence of the visitors. Upon landing, they were greeted by an environment drastically different from the city they had left behind. This area was dominated by natural features, dense alien forests interspersed with towering structures that resembled gigantic conduits, channeling energy from the ground into the sky. Mikhail pointed to the largest of these structures. "That must be the portal nexus. It's like nothing we've seen before. The design is far more complex." The team made their way toward the structure, their path lit by bioluminescent plants that seemed to react to their movements, casting eerie glows on their surroundings. The air was thick with a fragrance that was both sweet and metallic, a reminder of the alienness of this world. As they approached the nexus, the ground beneath them began to hum, a gentle vibration that grew stronger with each step. Tanya monitored the vibrations, noting their synchronization with the energy pulses they had previously recorded. "This might be a sort of welcome mat, or a security system," she speculated. "It's hard to tell if it's benign or a warning." The entrance to the portal nexus was flanked by statues similar to those they had seen in the city, but these were different. They depicted what appeared to be guardians, figures armored in stone, with eyes that seemed to follow the team's movements. Inside, the nexus was cavernous, with the central area dominated by a massive portal arch. The arch was dormant, but its structure was intact, surrounded by control panels and devices that defied immediate understanding. Dr. Sanders approached one of the panels, his fingers hovering over the alien controls. "These symbols are a match for those we've found in the underground chamber. If I can sync the data from the star map, we might be able to activate the portal." As he worked, Ava kept watch. The feeling of being observed was overwhelming here, more so than in any other part of the planet they had explored. She couldn't shake off the sense that they were not alone, that the guardians outside were more than just statues. With a triumphant beep, the panel lit up, and the portal arch thrummed to life. A shimmering field appeared within the arch, swirling with colors that no human eye had seen before. "We've got it," Dr. Sanders announced, stepping back from the panel. "It's stable, but there's no telling where it leads. We should send a probe through first." Mikhail prepared a drone, equipping it with cameras and sensors. As it approached the portal, the air around them charged electrically, making the hairs on their arms stand on end. The drone passed through the portal without incident, disappearing from sight but continuing to transmit data back to the team. The feed showed glimpses of another world, or perhaps another part of the universe. vast landscapes under strange stars, alien cities, and the ruins of civilizations long gone. As they watched the feed, a low growl echoed through the nexus, emanating from the statues outside. Ava turned just in time to see the stone figures shift, a subtle but unmistakable movement. "They're not just statues," she said, her voice steady despite the rising tension. "Everyone be on high alert. We don't know what these guardians are programmed to do." The team rallied, forming a defensive circle as the figures outside began to move, their stone surfaces cracking to reveal something much more ancient and alive beneath. The exploration of Elysium had turned into something unexpected, a first-contact scenario with the automated defenders of a forgotten empire, guardians of a portal network that connected the hidden corners of the galaxy. Ava's team tightened their formation as the stone guardians lumbered towards them, their movements slow but deliberate. The creatures, composed of an unknown alloy beneath their rocky exteriors, radiated an aura of ancient power and purpose. Tanya whispered, scanning them with her device. "Their technology is intertwined with organic components. These aren't just robots, they're biomechanical sentinels." Mikhail readied his defense gear, a mixture of apprehension and excitement in his eyes. "They're programmed to protect this place. Maybe if we show we're not a threat." Before he could finish, one of the guardians raised its arm, signaling the others to halt. Its eyes, glowing with a deep, resonant blue, focused on Ava. She took a careful step forward, raising her hands in a universal gesture of peace. "We are explorers, not conquerors," Ava announced, her voice amplified to ensure it carried. "We seek knowledge, not dominion." The Guardian's gaze lingered on Ava for a tense moment before it lowered its arm, and the eerie glow faded from its eyes. The creatures retreated slowly, reassuming their positions by the portal, now silent watchers rather than active threats. Breathing a sigh of relief, Ava turned back to the portal. "Let's continue the mission. We have a potential bridge to another part of the universe waiting for us. Mikhail, keep an eye on those sentinels." Dr. Sanders, meanwhile, had managed to extrapolate possible coordinates from the portal settings, indicating several destinations. These locations span across what could have been the core worlds of this empire. We should consider exploring these to gather more context about the empire and the threat they faced. The drone continued to send back images from the other side of the portal, revealing a landscape that was starkly beautiful, but desolate. Ruins dotted the horizon, and in the distance, storm clouds gathered over what appeared to be a vast ocean. Tanya focused on analyzing the atmospheric data coming through. The environment is habitable but shows signs of ecological collapse. Whatever happened here, it was catastrophic. With the Guardians now passive, the team proceeded through the portal, emerging into the alien landscape that the drone had surveyed. The air was crisp, tinged with a hint of ozone, and the ground beneath their feet was covered with a fine, silvery dust. Exploring the ruins, they found remnants of technology that mirrored what they had seen on Elysium, but also differences that suggested a cultural divergence among the planets of the Empire. Mosaics depicted scenes of harmony between various species, hinting at a society that had once celebrated diversity. In one ruin, Ava discovered a series of murals that illustrated the Empire's history. The images showed the rise of a flourishing civilization, the discovery of the portal technology, and then scenes of chaos, shadowy figures engulfing the stars, planets shrouded in darkness. "The threat they faced," Dr. Sanders observed, examining the murals. "It seems to have been both internal and external. Perhaps a rebellion or an invasion coupled with a natural disaster accelerated by their own technology." As they documented their findings, the storm approached, lightning arcing across the darkening sky. They hurried back to the portal, the wind whipping around them as the first drops of rain fell, heavy and cold. Re-entering the portal just as the storm broke, they returned to Elysium, where the air was still, and the Guardians motionless. Ava looked back through the portal, which showed the other world now obscured by the raging storm. "We have much to learn and little time," Ava said to her team as they gathered their findings. "This empire, these people, They reached across galaxies and faced their end. We must ensure their history is not lost, nor their mistakes repeated. With the coordinates of other worlds now in their possession, the exploration was far from over. The secrets of the Empire beckoned, scattered across the stars, waiting in the silence of forgotten worlds. Back on the Endeavor, Ava's team analyzed the comprehensive data they had gathered from both Elysium and the storm-laden world beyond the portal. The ship's main hall was alive with theories and discussions about the implications of their findings. The Empire's technology was based on principles we're only just beginning to understand, Mikhail said, poring over the engine schematics they had retrieved. Their ability to manipulate energy and matter could revolutionize our understanding of physics. Tanya added, focusing on the biomechanical nature of the Guardians. And their integration of organic systems with machinery suggests a level of biotechnological harmony we've never achieved. Studying these Guardians could advance our own bioengineering by centuries. Dr. Sanders, meanwhile, was absorbed in the historical data. This empire didn't just fall. It was pulled apart by multiple forces. The murals suggest internal strife, possibly fear or paranoia about their own technology, coupled with an external threat, something they couldn't contain or combat effectively. As the team debated, Ava reviewed the star map with Captain Ellis, plotting a course to the next portal nexus. If we can unlock more portals, we may find other remnants of the Empire, possibly even survivors, or at least AI systems that might have recorded the final days. The decision was made to set course for a system that appeared frequently in the Empire's archives, a central hub that might hold the key to understanding the vast network of portals and the ultimate fate of the civilization that built them. Upon arrival, the planet was eerily similar to Elysium, but bore the scars of battle, craters from orbital strikes, ruins blackened by fires that had long since burned out. The silence of the dead world was oppressive, the legacy of a once great civilization now just whispers in the dust. Exploring the ruins, they found a facility that appeared to be a command center. Inside, amidst the decay, was an operational AI core, its systems flickering to life as Ava's team approached. "Visitors, after so many cycles." The AI's voice was tinged with static but carried a tone of weary surprise. "My directives are to aid those of the Empire, but it seems I now serve historians or grave robbers." "We're neither," Ava replied. "We're trying to understand what happened here, to learn from it." The AI processed this, its lights blinking methodically. "My records are at your disposal. But know this, the downfall of the Empire was swift and multifaceted. Fear of our own creations, a contagion of madness and dissent, and yes, an external force we could neither foresee nor fight against effectively." The team spent days downloading data from the AI, learning about the Empire's attempts to stabilize their society, the deployment of the Guardians, and the final desperate acts to save their worlds via the portals. As they prepared to leave, the AI delivered a final message. "What you seek lies not in the remnants of the past, but in the application of its lessons to the future. Beware the shadows you chase. They consume." With new knowledge and a plethora of data, Ava's team returned to the Endeavor, their mission far from over. The shadows of the fallen empire stretched long across the cosmos, filled with lessons of hubris and the peril of unchecked power. As the Endeavor warped to their next destination, Ava pondered the AI's warning. The journey ahead was uncertain, fraught with potential dangers, but necessary. For in the ruins of the Empire, amidst its scattered stars and forgotten worlds, lay the keys to preventing another fall. And perhaps, one day, a chance for redemption and rebirth for those who once ruled the galaxy.